reciprocal groove that goes along the inside.
All right, we're rolling. You ready? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Show X. Today I'm here with Mr. Donald Carr.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
It's your birthday today.
It is. I'm getting older and wiser, hopefully.
Are you feeling older though?
Yeah, I think once you get over 40, you can certainly start to feel it after a while. So you got to look after yourself a little bit better.
This is the theme of today's episode, is that, as a lot of people know, I was going through some stuff with my neck earlier in the year. At the end of last year, sorry. I'm going to throw it to you. What was going on with my neck?
Well, there was a lot of adhesion around the neck. So as a rehab specialist, what I first did was I assessed Cale. Found out that his hips were off and his hip had a hike, which is setting off his whole spine, which is throwing off his neck. So you were playing around with all these neck exercises and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was never going to work because your pelvis, which is like the foundation of your body, was off. And once we stabilized that, then we could re-centralize some of the discs that were in your neck and some of the compressions and nerve impingements that were going on. You also had a cranial shift, and you also had some stuff going on in your ribs and your knee. You had a nice little challenge for us to
Well,
work
this
out.
is funny because I consider myself quite a healthy person, but I was still going through that stuff, and I'd love to sort of broach that topic in that we focus so much now on getting nutrition right, but realistically it's only one aspect of wellness in general.
Totally, and we look at the wellness as a Czech practitioner and someone who teaches the Czech program. We look at three major prongs to health and fitness. So we've got that physical, you got that nutritional, but then you've also got the mental emotional, which ties into your organ pathways, your nerve pathways as well. So there's also mental emotional states that related to the neck and so on. Now, as we broached in with the physical stuff, you're pretty good in your nutrition, right? So there was little bits of what we talked about, the insulin spikes and allowing yourself getting into more pain, right?
Skipping meals.
Yeah. So, I mean, think of your body as a weakness or damage. You have to rebuild it. Now, what do you bring in to rebuild it? So you know all about the gut. We know how to restore the gut, fauna, flora. We know that the microbiome is very important, but it's very important for the protein synthesis. It's very important for the building blocks for the body, but also for absorption of your collagen and the ground substance that makes up that kind of connective tissue, which is really important. The nutrition is a very important part. It's one part that a lot of people go to physios, chiros, osteos, rehab specialists, but then don't take in the nutrition. You'd already done that, well, to a degree, but you hadn't looked at the other stuff. You were just doing your exercises and hoping it would just magically go away.
Yeah.
and it didn't for 2 years, which was when you came to me and said, okay, we need to get this sorted. So we gave you the corrective program based on my assessment, and then you did the work.
Yeah.
And we balanced out the hips. You did have a 5-degree hip tilt and a rotation, and now that's all pretty balanced. And then, you did the exercises, and that progressed you as you went away.
I'm just editing this clip together now, and I'm just thinking that one thing that I actually didn't really emphasize is the fact that I'm now out of pain. Predominantly with my neck. And Donald also pointed out that in our initial meeting I indicated that I had pain in my middle left rib on my back and also in my knee, and I had totally forgotten about those things because they've completely disappeared. So this stuff really works. Anyway, back to the interview. One thing we didn't go into too much is the emotional side of things. How you sort of tailor it to the individual client and work out whether the emotional stuff is needed, or that sort of thing.
We use this.
Okay.
It's called the Totem Pole.
I'm going to get a cutaway of that.
And the Totem Pole gives us a priority of orders and where we want to relate to the physical aspects. On top of this is the old model, there sits the mental and the psyche. Now, at that stage, you were going through your premieres of the Gut movie, right? You were traveling around, and this was your big project you've been working on. The neck is related to communication issues. Kind of interesting. And the chakra level or the base level is to do with finances and safety and security. You've got a new release, you've got all your finances and stuff tied into stuff.
Into a movie.
I didn't have to tell you all that stuff.
Yeah.
You would have said, duh.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going on. So I decided to address the physical stuff and wait till your life became more normalized and you weren't doing so much travel to see how things balanced out. And lo and behold, every time you went traveling and so on, what happened?
A little bit of flair in the neck.
Communicating to people, talking about your passion, your dream. But when you came back and it's all done and dusted, your body's more relaxed, the energy balances out, you get out surfing, you do the things you love to do, and we're good. I decided that the more important things was there was some physical aspects that were out. Once you have them out, then I can start to bring into your awareness of what the other lifestyle factors are. So the mental, emotional, the correlated energies, the correlated moods and emotions, or the correlated kind of foods and nutrition you need to do. My plan was to work on the physical aspects, then bring into your awareness of the mental, emotional aspects, and you already got the food and nutrition done. So
Yeah. When did you start doing this sort of stuff? Because you've been doing it for how long?
27 years now.
27 years. I feel like someone who's been in the industry that long, you've built up a lot of intuitive experience.
I think it's more making so many mistakes in my earlier career. I started off in the industry, I was a personal trainer and went into strength conditioning, got qualified strength conditioning coach, start working with athletes, and then after about 8 to 10 years, I started traveling around. Yeah, after a period of time, I would say after I got into Paul's work, the Czech program in 2000, when I started the Czech process, so I've been doing that for nearly 18 years now. I was qualified as a level 4 in 2004. So for the last kind of 14 years, then I started getting into more international presenting, and that's where, you really get challenged a lot when you put yourself out there, as you know, in public speaking, because
Yes.
you can get all sorts of weird and wonderful questions, which is great. It's been a while gaining the knowledge. It takes a long time.
What do you think is missing most from the more traditional, I don't want to say personal training space, because we had a chat about that and that's not where you are, obviously.
Yeah. Well, that's where I started, most definitely.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
a qualified personal trainer,
Yeah.
and that's where I positioned myself for so many years. I would say the first 10 years of my career I was a personal trainer, but then once I started getting into the strength conditioning and started working with athletes, I became more strength conditioning personal trainer, and then I got into the rehab field, and then I went from a normal trainer to a specialist in the rehab field. So now, as you know, I'm $250 an hour as a rehab specialist rather than a personal trainer. But I give a money back guarantee, as you know.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. How did you arrive at the questionable business decision, I might add, which has proven very positive for you, to offer clients a money back guarantee?
I have to be honest, it scared the absolute shit out of me when I decided to do it. And it was basically, I heard Paul Chek talk about it in regards to, if you want to be serious and committed to the client as much as the client is committed to you, show your commitment by saying, I do not want to get paid unless I can get results. And what it did was it kept me honest in regards to make sure I do my homework. And of course, there's other people and business mentors thought I was absolutely crazy to do that. And it's a bit like if you buy a car, I want a 5-year warranty on it.
Yeah.
I want a money back warranty on it. And I just said the same okay, that's fair. If I buy a big purchase, I only take clients on for $2,500 for a minimum of 10 sessions. So they buy a big purchase, I say, it's money back guarantee. If you're not happy with your purchase, no questions asked, but you must follow the program. If you don't do what I ask you to do, don't come back and say, this didn't work. That's your fault it didn't work. So I make sure that I only take on clients, I vet or interview all my clients first. To do this process, you have to have a detailed analysis, a detailed assessment process, because you can't be kind of caught off with a curveball or caught left of field and you don't know what's going on. So I ask clients at the beginning, are you willing to change your water and your nutrition? Are you willing to sleep? And sometimes they're deal breakers. They're not willing to change their water, or they're not willing to eat good food. And I'm going, well, I can't really help you. Go and train with this guy or do something else, because you're not going to work with someone, for me, that's not ready to change. If you're not willing to change, I can't coach you. And really, I do some life coaching in regards to understanding like your nutrition, your lifestyle factors. And then if you want to get serious about the money back guarantee, you've got to reassess and be able to be humble enough to say, well, this program isn't working after 4 or 5 weeks. If you don't see a change, I'm going to have to change it. And that's something that's always been really interesting for me to see, because I sometimes go, I've got it cracked. I've got this client. That was easy. They had this and they had that. I know what's going on here. And then 2 weeks in, I'm going, oh my God, it's not working. What do I have to do? And I change the opposite approach, or I reassess and I miss something, or there's something I find out the client's not doing the exercise or stretch right, or they misinterpreted the information, and that's coming back on my coaching. I wasn't clear enough. I didn't give enough directive in what they needed to do. That's been really a great thing for me, because there has been 1 or 2 clients where I've had to give money back because they shifted on or they went away. I had one client that I got them out of pain too quickly, like in 5 sessions, and they thought they were fixed, so they didn't want to do any more. So they wanted their money back. So I said, okay, there's your money back. But I don't want to work with someone who doesn't want to work with me too. Some people, I just pay the money and don't know you're going to fix me. And they disown the relationship or ownership of their problem. So it's like, you treat me instead of me making the changes to do that. It's
Yeah.
like hold my hand all the time instead of me
Yeah.
teaching you how to fish, as the
Yeah.
analogy of instead of feeding you the fish all these days. It's just everybody just want to take a pill and that's
Yeah.
it, or press the button and that's it. Nobody wants to do the work to build the button or to rebuild the body, and the time it takes, as you know, working with me, didn't happen overnight.
No.
It takes time to master the exercises. It takes time for me to get you the original program working, to make sure you're doing your homework. And then once you're doing your homework, then we can start to develop the movement strategies to get you back surfing. You wanted to surf pain-free. And this is what we want to get. So that was the goal.
So let's talk about my program and your assessments of me. We talked a little bit about my hips and stuff. Also, when I was training, my reluctance to stretch as much as I should because I find it incredibly unenjoyable. What were your sort of assessments, and how did you sort of build my program based on our interactions in the gym?
All right, well, I just followed what we normally do in the check program, which is first we do a postural analysis. The postural analysis identifies glitches or areas we need to investigate more in. One of my mentors, Gary Gray, was saying, that's interesting. Must investigate that a little bit more. So then I put you up on the table and I did some comparative range of motion. So I tested your range of motion. I actually measured it. So remember the thing that you do, the inclinometer or the goniometer, that you can actually measure the degrees?
Yeah.
And that gives me a degree. So in your calves, you're very tight. You know, I think you had 10 and 11. You're supposed to have 20 degrees.
Yeah.
And then we went through your hamstrings and we went through your glutes and they were all tight. And then I got the other tools where I put them on your body, which is the length tension relationships, and I measured them. So I've got the posture, I've got the comparative range of motion, and then I've got the length tension. Some core testing and some movement strategies, looking how your body works. Based on all that, that dictates your stretch program. Your body tells me what language, where it's tight, where it's not. You just have forgotten to talk to your body or forgotten to get the message from your body. You're just feeling that tightness in the hamstring is normal because you've had it for the last 10, 15 years. But that's not the average range of motion in the hamstring. Yours is 130, it should be 170. Now we've increased that a little bit now, but at the beginning that's why you're so locked down on your pelvis. And then when you start to move your lower back, it kind of went up, and then the neck was getting the brunt because you didn't have the mobility in the rest of your body. Some of these things just take time, and yes, there's no way around. Sometimes you have to do some stuff that you may not enjoy. Sometimes I can change the technique and give you a different stretch or something like that, or you can do some Aldoa techniques, or you could do some yoga techniques, or some Tai Chi techniques, or foam rolling, or get a good deep tissue massage to release joints and muscles that you can't release by yourself, and then reinforce with the exercises based on the assessment would tell us where you're weak or long or short. We then give you an exercise, and then based on how our core, our midsection, we go through your squat, your lunge, your deadlift, your push, your pull, your twist, and how you walk or crawl. So remember all the infant development stuff that we gave you as well?
Yeah.
That resets the way the spine moves. So that kind of inchworming and so on repositions the spine and teaches the body how to work again. As a child, you learn how to wriggle on your back. You learn to roll over in your tummy. You can wriggle on your tummy. Then you get up to all fours and crawl. Then you get up to pull yourself up onto one knee. Then stand up, and then we get to upright. And that normally takes a process of a year. So in the rehab component, our program starts in the base, maybe on the back, on the front, on the side. Then we start to crawl or do Swiss ball exercises horizontal to the floor, hip extensions, supine lateral bar rolls, jackknives, forward bar rolls. Then we get up to cable pulls and pushes. Then we get into lunge strategies, squat strategies, deadlift strategies, and then eventually we get into twist and one-legged strategies.
Yeah.
That's
Which is kind of where we're at now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I was going to ask, like, what does my program look like now? Now that I've sort of put in the work and arrived at a place where I'm still, as you said, still got some work to do and some space to catch up on. But what is my program sort of focusing on now?
because you're a surfer, we're looking at transition of weight from left to right foot. And we've got a lot of rotation and lateral plane stability work in there. And you've also got one-legged work in there where you're transferring your weight from front leg to back leg. So now your program would be looking more like a surfer's program than a rehab program. And that's the benefit of working with someone like myself, and go from the rehab, from neck injuries, from spinal injuries, all the way to back up to normal functional fitness, and even then professional fitness. So I've got Olympic athletes, I've got professional soccer players, all those kind of things we work with. They're the kind of stuff that we can work through the level of, you start off the base level, you did all the corrective work, you worked your way up through general fitness, and now we're getting specific fitness for surfing, because that's your passion. That's what you like to do.
Love it. Hey, where can people find out more about you?
placeofchi.com.
You guys are, I don't know if we're allowed to say this, so whether this ends up in the final episode or not. You guys are moving?
Possibly, yes.
Possibly.
We're at the moment, we're exploring, we've been running retreats and workshops, and as a lecturer, I've been running many of them. So what I want to do is create a on-site learning facility and rehab facility. So at the moment we're in Warriewood, but we're looking to move to a retreat base, and that could be further afield, even in a different state.
Yeah. So that's where people can find you. Placeofchi.com.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for tuning in to Show X. I forgot the name of the show just now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel here and comment below what you want to hear next time. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks very much.